Okay, now we are on chapter 27 of Chof Zayin of Shaar HaEmunah by the Middler Rebbe. And as we said above, we're learning about how it is that the Nefesh HaElokis can refine the Nefesh HaTivius, and we're going to learn in this chapter that it occurs through a mamutza, through a go-between. V'yuvan zeh b'ma she'anu roim b'chibur v'kesher, and this, that we see this connection and interwovenness, sheyesh bein haneshama elokis, that there is between the godly soul, sheshorsha be'eser sfirus de'asiyah, that its source is in eser sfirus de'asiyah. My understanding is that the godly soul exists on a level higher than the eser sfirus de'asiyah, but that for the purposes of this being, it also has a resting place or an effect, I don't know, within the 10 spheres of the world, of the spiritual world of Asiyah, to Kedusha, that there is a connection between that level of where the godly soul is resting in the corresponding to the 10 spheres of Asiyah as their Kedushas, their holy, ubein nefesh hativius, between the nefesh hativius, achumrius, which is materialistic, compared to the nefesh elokis, sheshorsha ben noiga, whose source exists in noiga, the asiyah of asiyah. So what's the connection between the two? Ki anu roim, since we see shespilus ha'oinig elokim mamish sheben neshama bariya haruchnius, since we see that there's a certain arousal that occurs and a certain pleasure that occurs for godliness that occurs inside the neshama itself, which is itself experiencing ruchnius. Since that happens, yumshach miyad lebechinas espilus gashmius doinig gashmi shebamoach olev basar gashmi. Since there is that hispilus, that arousal that occurs within the nefesh halokis, therefore it has to be drawn down immediately. It immediately happens that there's an arousal that occurs in the gashmistic way, in a pleasurable way, in the gashmistic brain, in the brain itself, in the physical brain, in the physical heart, gashmi. Ki'inin avdu Hashem simcha, because a person can serve Hashem with joy. Hari simcha v'tuv lev, serves Hashem with simcha, with happiness, and with a good heart. Hazeh boy belev umoch gashmi, and this simcha, this happiness, and this good heart that a person experiences and has, goes to the leiv itself, goes to the heart itself, and goes to the moach, the brain itself, gashmi, dafka. Afal pi shehasimcha lelokis hu beruchnius the neshama elokis, that even though the simcha for godliness is a spiritual, is spiritual and exists within the soul itself, the godly soul itself. V'kein v'ahavas b'chol levavcha, and same thing too with the ahava that is experienced with all your heart. It's also a bit it's spiritual. The leiv basar, even though it occurs within the physical and fleshy heart itself, there's still something ruchnius about it, spiritual about it. Dafka afal pi shahavazu shorsha, even though this love exists within, it has its root point ha'atzmi, but ruchnius the neshama, even though that love itself is in a spiritual state, in the neshama. Ela sarich la'omer sheyesh bechinas b'mutza. In order for this to happen, that it's drawn down from a spiritual state to a physical state, there has to be a go-between to make it go from spirituality to physicality. So it's actually existing in a physical way in the brain and in a physical way in the heart. Not just that it remains in ruchnius, up in the upper oilamos, but it's actually happening in our physical world. And this is the whole idea of Chabad Hasidus approach. And it's, of course, the Torah Dika approach, but Chabad emphasizes in the Hasidus itself affecting the physical world. That things shouldn't just stay up in a spiritual state, but it needs to come down to a physical state. And with that in mind, that always comes about in the Maimarim, especially as we're seeing here, that these high and lofty ideas It's not good enough to just stay up there. They have to come down here. So what's this intermediary that exists between the godly soul and the intermediary, the nefesh tiviyus? Shemechaber connects ruchnius the neshama legashmius, the nefesh tiviyus b'moch alev agashmi, and it connects the spirituality of the neshama to the physicality that exists on the rational soul plane that exists within the brain and the heart, the physical brain and heart. Vein hanikra pirkei atzelim. And this is what it's called. This mamutza is called, this intermediary is called Pirkei Atzelim. Pirkei means parts, and Selim means form. We touched it earlier as shadow. So this is a Kabbalistic term that is going to take the ordinate neshama, the Elokis, and will be able to actually affect the nefesh tiviyus in such a way that it goes to the brain and heart and perfects them so that they are totally refined and they are allowed light to shine and experiences in Aliyah. And we're going to see that experience in Aliyah that's even higher than what occurs with divine seichel and divine intellect that happens with the nefesh elokis itself. That the nefesh tiviyus and the aspects of the nefesh tiviyus, the brain and the heart, actually go to a higher level than the divine intellect that exists in the godly soul. Hainu bechinas koichois hamamutzim, that the level that this power that comes between shemechavrim mamshichim and meviim or hashefa alokis nefesh tiviyus. Okay, we're going to stop there. I'm going to chazer some more because, oh man, this is getting difficult. And that leaves us off about 1, 2, 3, 4 lines from the top on page 94, chapter 27, Shaar HaEmunah by the Middler Rebbe.